What's going on, everyone? We are now live. So today I'm just going to jump right into it, and today I'm going to talk about a pretty popular stimulant in many pre-workouts. Some of you guys might have taken it before, and it is caffeine. So I'm going to talk about a study I looked at, and well, a couple studies I looked at on the effects of caffeine on jumping and exercise performance. Then I'm also going to go into questions from this week, including a question about my jump program, like how I design my workouts and stuff, and also what type of weight was I lifting, how was I lifting when I got my first dunk, so and some other ones. But just to get into the caffeine, the topic of this Q&A, I just, like I said, I looked into a couple studies. One of them was a review. But basically, just to get into just like a tiny bit of background on caffeine, it's a common stimulant, and it's most notable for increasing alertness and delaying mental fatigue. And this may be useful for increasing exercise performance, but as I'm going to get into, there's been little evidence or mixed evidence on if that actually occurs. So the study I'm going to talk about first is actually a study that tested caffeine with vertical jumping, and it was actually one of the only studies I found that actually tested caffeine and vertical jump performance. And they tested D1 athletes and divided them into two groups. One of them was a placebo. The other one was a group that received caffeine. Then they did 3 jumps. One of them, one type of jumping was a squat jump, and the other was a counter movement jump. Sorry, let me check this. I'm just see if this clears up. Sorry, a little Wi-Fi issue. All right, yeah, it looked like it just cleared up. All right, so yeah, just to get back into the study. So they had 2 groups of D1 athletes. One of them received the treatment of caffeine. The other one was a placebo group. They did two different types of jumping. One of them was a squat jump, and then the other was a counter movement jump. See, I've ever written. And they did these tests after 60 minutes of ingestion of the caffeine, and then they found that with the caffeine group, that the squat jump height and counter movement jump height both increased, and so did peak force and time to half peak force. So those were the major results of the study, and then they just suggested that this may be applied to other exercise performance and increasing performance in other activities from implementing caffeine. But then in the review article I looked at, they looked at 27 studies that also tested caffeine on like more specific just exercise performance and endurance in general, and they found kind of like the opposite of that. They found more of a mixed review, and a lot of it had to do with endurance and delaying fatigue rather than actually increasing muscle performance or force output. So with that first study, it just seemed like again, since that was like the only study I actually found testing vertical jump, that there could have been some biases, or the people that they tested, they might have just it might have been like either more mental or more of a placebo to them compared to this review that actually looked at a bunch of different studies that actually tested endurance and time to fatigue. So in the review, they found that they tested in 17 of the 27. They actually tested team sport performance and power and sprint performance were observed, and in 11 of those 17, they found that there was a significant improvement in performance, which ranged anywhere from 1 to 20%. The average being around 8% improvement. And then in that study, they also found that the performance enhancing effects of caffeine didn't come unless the dosage was at least 300 milligrams. So anything less than 300 milligrams, there were no ergogenic effects or performance enhancing effects from taking caffeine. So, but the major conclusion from that study was that again, there was mixed evidence on the effects of caffeine on muscle performance specifically. However, because caffeine acted as a central nervous system stimulant, that it acted against adenosine, which is a hormone that it's a sleep hormone. So basically, the hormone that basically tells your body to sleep or affects how tired you are. That was actually delayed because of the implementation of caffeine. So because that was delayed, there could be, they suggested that there could be more of a relation that the caffeine actually delayed the time that there was mental fatigue, so that could in turn increase the endurance in doing like a team sport or lifting activity. Um, yeah, so those are the two major studies I looked at, and again, from looking at both of these, it seems like that the last part I just read there, that was the major conclusion from caffeine. It's not that caffeine itself increases any type of muscle activity, but that the effects of caffeine on any type of muscle performance is actually more related to brain activity rather than actual muscle activity. So because caffeine has such an effect on has such a high effect on the central nervous system in terms of delaying that adenosine hormone, that is why there could be improved muscle function or muscle endurance or any signs of muscle of increasing muscle performance. So I feel like that's why there are so many mixed reviews on there actually being some type of, like increased force output, increased vertical jump height, stuff like that. So that seemed like it was a major conclusion of caffeine on vertical jump performance, or just exercise performance in general. So yeah, but I'm going to get into questions from this week, and the first one I got was the first one I looked at was a question that I got from a YouTube comment, and I'm going to bring it up right now. This one was from, let's see, Mohammed Alprins. He said, how do I design my own vertical jump program? So the way I design my own vertical jump program is basically by doing stuff like this, or researching topics, or talking about different topics on these Q&As. But I mean, a lot of it has just been my own research. I mean, I got when I first started my jump training, it was from the Flight Right program, so I got a lot of exercises from that, which helped me kind of branch off into other exercises that I just kind of like correlated to that program. But now it's just been through my own research, like watching videos, like seeing different ways people train, different ways athletes train, and just trying to like always learn new ways to challenge and push my body. So that's like the basic way I design my program, is just continuing to challenge myself and learn new ways um, of just doing exercise. Asel said, "Hi, good afternoon. I wanted to ask you how much centimeters you have on your vertical jump right now." Well, I can tell you that my running vertical I measured as like doing a touch test was 38 to 40 inches. So in centimeters, not sure. Let me look. Let's see, 38. So that'd be like 97 centimeters. The Black Mamba, yo, what's good? I'm from Australia and it's 5:30 a.m. Hey, shout out to the Black Mamba for joining the live stream at 5:39 a.m. in Australia. But yeah, so that's basically how I design my own jump program. It's nothing like just like one. It's not like one specific jump program or anything. I just take a mix of workouts and just, again, like push my body in different ways as much as I can. So then I got another question from SIGIT _ IR on Instagram. He asked me, how much weight was I lifting when I got my first dunk? At the time, the time I got my first dunk, that was when I was doing the Flight Right program, and in that program there wasn't too much actual weightlifting until like the last couple of months. So I mean, in the last couple of months, I mean, I don't think I was recording like how much weight I was doing or anything at the time, but I could say that 6 months before that, I was doing the whole jump program. So I was just focusing on jumping and jump training. So I wouldn't say that like there was any specific number of weight that I was doing at the time to get my first dunk. I mean, I've heard like a lot of different correlations between like having a certain amount of weight on your squat or your deadlift and how high you could jump, or your vertical. But at the time, I wasn't really keeping track of like how much weight I was doing. So I mean, I think I would just base it more off of that I was doing a jump program and focusing on jumping a lot in the technique and everything. So that's kind of what led me to, get that first dunk. And the Black Mamba, why did you decide to start jumping slash dunking? That's a great question. So when I was in high school, well, I guess I'll go before high school. So I guess I was just always fascinated by like seeing people dunk because I mean when I was younger I watched like Michael Jordan and I just was just like fascinated by seeing like the slow-mo videos of him in the air and stuff. So I mean that image was just always in my head of like flying, I guess, or dunking one day. So I like had that mental image and I played basketball all throughout high school. But the type of training for basketball it's a little different than the type of training for jumping. I mean, with basketball you're training to actually play a sport, whereas with jumping, you can focus everything into just jumping and technique and explosiveness and all that. So I played basketball in high school for 3 years, and then after that, um, I for like the first year after I stopped playing basketball, I just went to like bodybuilding type of exercises because I always liked weightlifting, like the weightlifting side of basketball and like the training side. So I just went to that for like a year of just like doing bodybuilding type of exercises, but it just wasn't enough. Like I still felt like I wanted to accomplish a goal, like I wanted a purpose to lift, and I didn't find like there was anything there for me with bodybuilding or doing those type of exercises. So I had that goal in my head of wanting to dunk one day. So I started the Flight Right program my freshman year of college, and then did that for 7 months, and then that's what led me to get my first dunk. And then from there, I had a little bit of a slow up, I guess, because I broke my elbow, and that kind of put me back a few months. But I mean, I kind of blame myself for that because I mean I broke my elbow, but then I just like it's like I didn't have the drive to train during that time where my elbow was broken. So kind of set me back a few months. But then after that is when I really started to just like dig and do my own research and like just kind of make my jump training like revolve around like my weaknesses and my strengths and just build it from there. So yeah, that's why I decided to start jumping or dunking. Hey, what's up, Peter? Shout out to Peter from Ireland in the live stream. But yeah, so I'm gonna get to some more questions here from this week. Oh, I got another one from Paleo. He asked me how much weight can I lift in terms of squat, deadlift in relation to my body weight. So I did the math, and it was for squat it would be like 2.5 times. Or was that for? Yeah, for deadlift it was 2.5 times, and then for my squat it was more like 3 times body weight. So let's see, I'm gonna do it right now. So right now I weigh like 161. So if I take I mean I got the 500-pound box squat. So if I use that number, even though that's not like the most accurate number, that's 3.1 times body weight. So I would say like it's actually more like probably like 2.7 times, something like that for like an actual squat. And then deadlift, I'm just gonna use 405 divided by 161. That's 2.5. So yeah, that would be more of an accurate number for deadlift. But I don't really pay attention to like those type of numbers, like um, my body weight and exercise weight correlation. Like I don't really go by any of that. I mean, I just train. I don't really like to pay attention too much to that. Peter asked me, who do I have? Who do I got? Conor McGregor or Mayweather? Um, I don't know. That's tough. I like Conor just because it just seems like he's in the sport that he's in. It's just more of like a fighting sport. So, but I mean, it just seems like it's a lot about money. Jordan Lambert said, how many inches did I gain after you finish your first jump program? After I finished that jump program, I probably gained like 6 or 7 inches, maybe. I want to say. Yeah, it wasn't like. I mean, it wasn't like anything, like 10 or 15 inches. It was probably more like 6 after doing that jump program. But then after breaking my elbow and like taking that a little bit of time off from that, I feel like I lost probably 3 inches at least. So I had that time frame of like that was more of a setback. So Peter, I did flight right. I'll type it in here. That's the jump program I did. I've talked about that program before on here, but I feel like that program just it was let's see, the Black Mamba said, do you just practice dunking or do you practice shooting and stuff like that? The Black Mamba, no, I play. I mean, I practice or I shoot around like every so often. Like I don't practice shooting like I do dunking, if that's what you're asking. But I do. I mean, I do just like play basketball just to play. Peter, no, it wasn't free, and I think it's for some reason it's now off the App Store. I don't know why, but if you try to search it on the App Store or if you look for the app, um, apparently it's gone. But I'll show you what it looks like if you find it somehow. Let's see. Yeah, it's like when you click the app, this is what comes up. Whoops. That's like the home screen. Yeah, like I said, I haven't seen this app on the App Store anywhere since. I mean, probably I looked for it a few months ago because somebody else asked me about it and I couldn't find it. So I don't know what happened to it. But yeah, that's the only jump program I did. But oh yeah, I was gonna bring up. I got another question about my gym from Andy Nicholson. I don't know if you guys have heard of him. He's the 40 over 40 dunker, or over the hill dunker, I should say. He asked me if the gym I work out at is at my college or if that's my home gym, and that's actually the gym in my hometown. Let's see. I got another question from Alec. Let's see. Sea Lion, what's up, man? Can you tell me where your hand is on the rim when you dunk? Um, Sea Lion, what do you mean by that? Where my hand is on the rim? Like how high does my hand get? And like how high does my hand get to the rim, or like how high above the rim is my hand? I mean, I would probably say like right here, maybe. At least, yeah. I mean, I'll test it again, but I would say at least right there. I feel like it might be higher, but like I said, I'll test it again. But Alexandros asked me, or he said he's been playing basketball for 2 years now, and he's only practiced the technique of jumping off of 2 feet, and he started lifting weights, but his knees are feeling weak. What type of exercises can I do to start jump training? So I asked him like what type of training he was doing or what type of exercises he had started doing, and he said he had started doing squats and lunges. So I just kind of recommended that to continue with the squats and lunges. But if he's just starting to jump train, to start off with maybe like some body weighted exercises, and then just to keep practicing the technique of jumping, because I feel like, I mean, this is just kind of like my opinion on it. Like if you start doing weighted exercises too early, like before you've actually gotten the technique of jump training down, then um, like it could lead to some type of injury with lifting, and then that could set you back in jumping. But I just feel like it's good to kind of build the foundation with doing body weight stuff and getting strong with your own body and coordinated with your own body, and work with jumping while doing that. and then slowly starting to implement weights. And that's, I mean, that's just kind of like the path I kind of followed too, was working with body weighted stuff and then implementing weights as I got stronger with my own body. So Peter says, is there any training I can do to switch to a right left jumper? I mean, if you want to start working like each leg, like single, you could do more lunges or split squats or Bulgarian squats or stuff like that. I mean, or just practicing jumping off of right left, because um, I mean, if you practice dunks that are right left, I mean, you'd be practicing more of like a twisting motion. So that's different than if you'd be practicing left right. So just practicing that different technique, you could definitely get stronger with right left. But I feel like if you're trying to improve a technique that has to do with dunking, then actually practicing that technique is what's going to help you the most, not any type of lifting. Because if you're wanting to actually jump a certain way, then you're going to have to jump that way to improve it. I mean, lifting might help make you stronger, but if you're wanting to get better at a technique, then you have to do that technique, if that makes sense. Like I'm wanting to get better at my left right technique, but there's really no lifts you could do. I mean, like I said, and other than getting stronger quicker with the foot, or with that leg, or with that coordination, but actually practicing technique is what's going to get you better at it. I mean, it's like practicing layups. Like there's not, you can't really say that there is a specific exercise that's going to help you get better at layups. It's just doing layups is what's going to help you get better at doing layups. Or same thing with shooting. Like I feel like when it's just when it's more of a technique driven movement, then you actually have to do the movement to get better at it. Just wondering, just to go back to like the topic of this Q&A, have any of you guys in the chat or anything, have you guys ever like taken caffeine or noticed any differences when taking caffeine before you jump or work out or anything? Because I know myself, like that's the pre-workout supplement that I go to is some form of caffeine, and it's usually in the dosage of that's closer to 300 milligrams. Um, like I said, it just seemed like in these studies that I looked at that there wasn't any conclusive evidence that caffeine actually improves any type of power or like um, vertical jump ability or vertical jump height. It just seems like it's more of a correlation to like decreasing your mental fatigue, if anything, or increasing your central nervous system, increasing the stimulation, I should say. Peter said he eats jelly before he does a dunk session. Yeah, that's a good simple sugar to have before you go dunk. Definitely recommend simple sugars before doing any type of exercise. If you're gonna have simple sugar at all. But yeah, I was also thinking about doing a live stream dunk session after this on my Instagram. If you guys want to check that out, it'll probably be in a little while. So if you guys want to see that, check out my Instagram. I'll put it in the chat right now. I'm gonna put a space because it tags my YouTube. Yeah, so if you guys want to check that out, I'll post in my story before I do the that live stream. But I've been working on a lower rim right now. It's 9.7. I've been working on like windmill and like 360s and stuff. So definitely feel like the windmill's been getting easier. Jordan, how often do I incorporate speed into your training? Pretty much every workout in some way, Jordan. Whether I'm doing like sprints or ladders or something, just some type of ballistic movement like that, where it's just I'm going all out as hard as I can. So that's the type of speed training that I incorporate. Peter said your windmills are getting better. Thanks, man. Yeah, they definitely feel like they're getting easier. Like I said, I mean, it's just like with you wanting to work the right left jumping. Like I'm practicing the windmill, so that continues to get easier, and it has been feeling a lot easier. Um, like just the timing and the quickness of it feels like it's easier. So I'm gonna see today how it is. My goal is by Florida to hit it on 10. Like that would be crazy to hit it on 10 foot and with all those guys there. So but I'm probably gonna end this Q&A soon. I usually do these on Friday. Today I did this one today because I had a longer edit of the last video that you guys saw. If you guys saw it, I posted yesterday of that workout. That was probably like the longest edit I've ever done. So wanted to kind of bring this into today, so that way I could put more attention into the Q&A. So I'm probably gonna end this one soon. So just if you guys have any more questions, just put them in the chat, and I will definitely still answer them. Peter said your lobs are getting better, but do lower lobs to catch them. You'll have enough time to bring them up. Peter, I'll try that. I'll definitely try that today. If you guys ever have any suggestions like for these Q&As in terms of like topics or anything that you guys come across or hear about, just let me know, and I'll be happy to look into them and then talk about them on here with you guys. But yeah, I'm probably gonna end this live stream here pretty soon. I'm gonna go do that dunk session. So if you guys want to check that out again, my Instagram is at LikeMikeBarrins. But I'll stay on here for we'll do 2 more minutes, and then if you guys have any more questions, I will answer them, and then I will go get ready for that dunk session. Peter, how have your dunks been coming? Do you feel like your technique and stuff has been getting better? Like, do you feel like it's getting easier? C-line, you should work on dribble dunks too. My main goal is 2 hands off the dribble. Yeah, I have been. I C-line. I've been working on the dribble dunks a lot too. On the 9.7 rim. Those are the two main things I work on there: the dribble dunks and windmill off the lob. Peter said, "When am I going to do the dunk session?" I'm going to be doing the dunk session soon after I get off of here. So probably, I mean, aim within the next half hour. Peter said, "Very good. I dunked on 9.9 off the lob. I was so happy, but I didn't dunk since." Yeah, that's awesome though. I mean, I feel like that's the hardest part is just to land one on a height that you think you can't land it on. But then once you get that one, it's like just keep practicing that over and over again, and then pretty soon it's gonna become consistent. So just keep working with that, Peter. But yeah, I'm gonna end the live stream here. So thank you guys for tuning in. and asking questions. And again, if you guys have any more, if you guys ever have any questions or comments or anything, message me on Instagram or leave a comment on my on any of the YouTube videos, and I will definitely check them out and talk about them on this live stream. And I'm going to be doing another Q&A like this next Friday is actually when I'm going to be in Florida for the dunk session. So stay tuned for the Q&A, or if the Q&A, when the Q&A will happen next. But there's going to be more. I'll definitely be posting like more workout videos and dunk videos coming up. So stay tuned for that. And thank you guys for watching again, and I will see you guys later.